Hey, welcome everybody. I would have a thing to play, but they kind of nixed that, and we haven't come up with a new one yet. So, party time. Excellent. Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, just as we were doing, I'm waving. I'm like, oh yeah, we don't have a song, so I'll have to. And
Oh,
then I look at my hand, I'm waving. I got blue paint all over it. I
oh
just,
yeah, you
yeah,
jacked off a Smurf.
I did. Shh. I'd be making more money than I am doing conventions. I bet. Shit.
Oh, they pay you in mushrooms, man.
So I'm gonna jump over and share
They
this
don't
on.
call them Gargamel for nothing.
Oh, got dark quick. Okay, I'm ready now. Damn it. Talk sexy Smurf
got,
talk now.
yeah, got a little blue in the face there.
Oh, every pun intended. All
Yeah,
right. So sorry about last week. I did not realize that fell on my 30th anniversary. So I guess
30.
30 years. That the fun part though was watching me do the old man math. My wife and I both, as we were like, so this is our anniversary this year. What? How many years have we been together? How old's our oldest kid? And you're doing all this like kid math and stuff. And
Oh yeah.
with birthday math, it's always the months. And so it's no, we're 29 years, no, we're 31 years. And then we realized it was 30 years. And we're like, we better do something,
Dude,
you know.
yours is
So
easy to remember. It's on a 5.
it's on a 5. Well, yeah, I guess it is. I never
Because
really looked at the year
you
we
were married in
started.
95?
No, we weren't married. We the 30 years is when we started hooking up. Well, let's say, yeah,
Oh.
yeah, because like we were together and for years, and she had 2 kids, so it was we were together for years before we were one of those couples that just let's save money until we can afford to get married. You don't do
Mhm.
that. If you do that, you'll never get married. So
Oh, you
I
kid.
think we're married 25 years, together 30. So
I proposed to Jessica, and then I had to start pumping the brakes because she was immediately, we can get married. Da, da, da. I mean, she was looking out months. I was like, no, you need to rethink that one, little girl. You're not going to get those venues that you think you're going to get with only like 9 months of lead time. That shit ain't going to happen.
as romantic as it sounds, when we finally got married, it was, hey, we got enough money in the bank to get married. Should we do it? It's like we should do it while we got the money. And so yeah, that's the way it
Well,
works.
you were there for ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
which I think most of the people showed up to ours just to see, if we really were going to get married. Because
Yeah.
yeah, I was the consummate bachelor, and she's someone that I would marry, so that tells you something right there. And someone who would marry me, so I already question her decision making skills.
See, we're talking about marriage. It might be a good thing Cookie didn't show up tonight then, because
Oh,
we'd have a couple of stories. I want to make sure I got this. I'm on the right chat, so I'm going to just put hello all because I don't know if yeah, I'm on the right chat. Okay.
all right, yeah,
All right.
on the live stream chat.
So tonight, and I will say now, I was telling Ash beforehand, I more blue paint. Um, I went to the doctor today and they gave me some medication, so I've had the hiccups up until about 15 minutes before podcast. So hopefully I don't end up with like weird hiccups again in the middle of the podcast, because otherwise you're going to be listening to Ash talk the whole time. So
Oh
I
yeah,
just sit
that's
and
going to
nod a
get
lot.
boring quickly
Oh god,
because
that's how it
I'll
was
start.
last week when you had to hop off and I had to just randomly talk. I
I'm so
was going
sorry,
to start
dude.
bitching.
Let's
Huh?
start with my hella geekasm.
Okay.
All right, my new computer.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I built this thing. It was my original computer that I built for Ganon to game on in 2019. All right, and so for Christmas this year, we got him a whole new gaming system that'll carry him on into college. All right, so he's got a whole new system, and so I took the other one and I had it back here, and it was definitely working hard to keep up, and so I just sat there. I was like, okay, this is a desktop. Hey, what's up, Kelly? This is a desktop. I
I,
should be able to upgrade it. That's the whole reason to have a desktop, is you can upgrade them. So I did the research. I found a new motherboard because the problem was is I could never get to Windows 11 because I built it like just a couple months before they came out with what their requirements for Windows 11 was going to be, and the motherboard that I got back then didn't have the special little TMP chip on it so that I could upgrade to Windows 11. So I could never get Windows 11. So I said, okay, so I need a new motherboard so I can get Windows 11. I was like, well, if I'm getting a new motherboard, I also want a new CPU. So I upgraded that bad boy. And then I'm like, wow, I need some more memory in this. And so now I'm rocking 48 gigs of RAM. I got a 13th gen i5 stepping up from a 10th gen i3. And I kept the graphics card because even though it's a 6 or 7 year old graphics card, it was such a workhorse back in the day. It is still doing everything that I want it to now, 7 years later. And now it's got integrated Wi-Fi and Bluetooth in it. The signal is great. Everything is broadcasting great. I'm loving this new system.
Well, are you doing any gaming on yours, or?
I got the new Civ 7. The new Civ
Okay.
7 came out, and so I've been playing on that some. And whoa, that's big different from the other Civilization games. That's big different.
I tell you, Gabe has almost got me talked in, especially with this week. You know, y'all can't tell, but my laptop screen is still down because I'm looking at the camera this time. But my laptop and my wife's laptop both went out in the same week. And so we were like, I just need to get me a nice desktop. And Gabe's about got me talked into it just because all the gaming that him and his buddies do, and all you can do. And I'm so limited.
And and the great thing is that you can upgrade.
Yeah.
So as you are, as things going on, you can put new things in, you can bring it up to speed. Like this whole thing. Stick to my modded MacBook. You do it, Roberto. This new motherboard, CPU, and the new memory all ran me about $300 to mod everything and bring it up. Yeah, I mean it's not the top of the line, and if I were to go for a new graphics card in there, that would smack me around like I owed it money.
Right. That's why I was wondering if you didn't. But and Gabe keeps saying that even with the extra stuff he's got, and for the amount of gaming I do, he could build me something pretty easy. Heck, I think even MacBook wise, Frankie sent us one from when his company did their big remodel. Sent us a bunch of old stuff. So got one there. I just don't. I've turned into one of those old guys. It's like I'm pretty comfortable with what I got right now. Don't I? People are like, "Oh, I love the Creality printer you got. What have you thought about upgrading this?" I'm good with what I got. So.
See, I'm already looking at the Anycubic Cobra S1. I want to get that bad boy, so I'm going to start saving up my money for that. And that's a Core XY one, so that's going to be really cool.
My wife even leaned over to me today to show me where somebody had a resin printer with the bath station and all that, all brand new in the box for sale online. And she's been pushing for it, but I've also showed her a commercial. It was $298, which
that's not bad for both the printer and the wash station.
Right. There's a lot of package deals online like that I could get, but I'm just not ready. I can't keep up with the printing I'm doing now. I need to get caught up on shit first.
Well, just to give you an idea, I was looking at. I'm building like a little terrarium, and I wanted to do a little diorama in the terrarium. So I was like, okay, so I downloaded some figures, which you can get a lot of figures online in the standard 29 millimeter. And I wanted to know, this is one of them. This is one of the terrariums. All right. Let me see here. And it lights up.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that. And you can put stuff in. But I was like, okay, I didn't know if the 29 millimeter would be the right size. Hold on. So here's the 29 mil. And so I went ahead and I did a plate with the 29 mil, a 20 mil, a 15 mil, and a 10 mil so I could judge the sizes on them. And all except for the 10 mil came out perfect. Wow. And I could use any of those.
See, all those are even smaller than normally the miniatures I use. So it's
Oh yeah. These are and so I mean it's just stuff like that, and I can sit there even with this crappy old Creality Hallet 1, which they no longer make. I can just go from the computer and just send it directly to the resin printer and have it start off. I don't have to carry stuff over. Don't have to carry stuff over for the Anycubic. So, You never know, man. Maybe you should get into some resin.
I,
Get those
I,
nice heads printed that you wanted.
I get the what printed?
The heads, you're talking about you wanted the heads for some of
Oh yeah,
the
yeah, the
stuff you're making.
detail in that. Yep,
Yeah.
yeah. And I need to get one. And I am so far behind every day, even getting stuff together for this. It's, well, in hell, that'll get me into my. I'll throw this on my geekasm because Kelly's on here, and it's 2 weeks ago I talked about a project him and I were going to work on, and I've been working on it because I got some of it here, but it kind of turned me on to the idea of there's this He-Man dinosaur that they made in 1987 that never got released, right? So
Really?
it's a toy, and there's a lot of toys. Marvel
Mm-hmm.
has them, Star Wars has them, where they make the toy, they make a prototype, they shoot some commercials, and then they never release the toy. So
Right.
Kelly found prints for one, and it's a giant dinosaur from He-Man, and asked if I could print it. And I was like, sure, yeah, it'll take about a roll or two of filament. Well, I didn't realize quick how big
That's
it
Danae's
was.
one.
Huh? Do it. Oh yeah. So I started printing this, and this is the Gigantosaur. So this here is
Oh,
just the
dude,
head of
dude,
it.
I'm going to say it for Roberto. Flared base. Always use a flared base with those.
So this thing
Dude, that's
is
huge.
it's enormous, and I didn't think it was because when I looked at the pictures, I was like, oh, I can do that in a roll or two. So Kelly and I are kind of doing this together uh, to make the whole thing. I'll give you a hint on because I got pieces all around me. Every piece is about a 24 to 30 hour print.
Dude, you need to put the
Um,
lower jaw on it because right now it just looks like it has a serious overbite.
I got the lower jaw, but oddly enough, the way they designed it, the jaw will pop on, and it's got hinges, but it doesn't move. And they didn't design a way for it to move. So I'm going to tinker with it and see if I can't design a way for it to move.
Well,
Uh,
yeah.
Because even on the box it says like, oh, he'll swallow the characters and they'll come out his backside, which doesn't happen. The toy wasn't even designed that way. They just kind of like threw a bunch of cool things on there that sounded cool. But you can like put characters in his belly and they can come out his butt. But that's uh, but let's
Nothing
see if
says
we
He-Man like shitting dinosaurs.
can. Oh, I was hoping I could get the. Oh, here it is. Oh shoot. Okay, so printing time on this one thing, this one toy, 1,206 hours and 56 minutes.
That's
That's
what you mathed out from your slicer?
that's what I masked out from the slicer. It's 8 to 9
Wow.
rolls of filament that I'll be using.
Dude.
Yes, it's it is a crazy big. I got all the filament and stuff written down here, but it is over 80 different pieces that I have to take, glue together. So I will be buying a hell of a lot more of that glue that you gave me last week.
I was going to ask, is that working good for you?
It works good on certain items. One problem I've had is the edges, like in the middle, no problem.
Yeah.
Connects, no problem. On the edges, if it bends or gets any resistance, those edges will curl up. So
I
yeah,
don't know.
well, so for these big flat areas, what I'm doing
Yeah.
is I was putting that stuff in the middle and just run a bead of super glue around the outside, and that seems to
Oh,
do it just fine. So,
sweet.
and it could just be that I'm not using enough of it because I only had the 1 ounce tube, and I'm out of that now. So I need to get some more.
Yeah, it's like I said, it costs like $15 for all of this.
Yeah,
And that wasn't even a 1 ounce tube I gave you because this is only like 5 ounces.
yeah.
So I think I gave you
Really
like,
fun.
1 gram or something like that, man. I
Yeah, I
gave you
don't
like
know.
an 8 balls worth. I don't know. Uh,
Well, anyhow, the idea of these discontinued toys, I think that's something I'm going to try to hit a little bit more on because I not only with the toys, but I'll show you like it comes with all the guns and stuff from different He-Man things. So
dude,
I,
9 or 10 rolls of filament. You're gonna have to sell one of these.
oh yeah, no, and that's why I'm doing this with Kelly. He had the idea, and at first I started it, and I was like, man, I got to get a hold of it, which I was just going to finish it up over time because I had miscalculated. Because I figure once you buy the file, all this stuff, it's going to be about $140 just to print the damn thing. So Kelly's like,
Oh,
I'll pay for it all if you can print it, and then we'll just kind of
hello.
make our own things.
Show Jessica your flared base thing. Apparently, there was an unreleased He-Man dinosaur toy, and he's 3D printing the whole
So
thing.
this is just the head, and the jaw goes.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
The body is like each side of the body is about 9 pieces that big.
Each side of the body is 9 pieces that big.
It's literally twice as big as this thing, and then you got a tail that's about as big as this coming off the back. So
let me see if I can switch over. Nope. All right.
Let's see, Dustin. Berto says I need 50 of them in 2 days or else.
Very cool.
Looks like we're going to see a lot of else because I've been working on this one for a week and a half already. So.
Yeah, no, it wasn't it wasn't lifting on the print bed, Dustin. It was lifting when he was gluing it together. I don't have the headphones for Jessica.
That's all right. My wife's just coming in to sit down and say hi real quick.
Hi, Christy. Huh? I don't know if she can hear me.
Yeah, she can hear you with that.
Okay, I'm telling my son, you need to print me the big She-Ra horse now, because that would be epic to have.
Well, you know what? So. Wait, your husband has a better printer than I do. Hang on a minute. I said your husband has a better printer than I do now. Hang on.
Oh, that's true. I think it might be true.
Besides, and that way your husband will get a reward for doing these nice things for you. See?
True.
You're going to make me throw on closed caption, I swear.
So did I tell you? He bought me a She-Ra castle for Christmas.
He was telling us, yeah.
Yeah, it had, like, on the tag, it said, "To little Jessica from Santa."
Oh,
that was from Santa. That wasn't me. I'm not cute. Give it back.
So, all right, I got to go make dinner. And it's so cold outside. Oh,
yes,
I know.
Yes. And for those, anybody watching not in Kansas, it is, I think we got 8 inches, something like that.
I think ours was like 8.5 or 9, something close to that.
Yeah.
So, and I believe it.
It's that negative wind chill factor that's kicking my rear.
Oh, I know. It's like negative 21 now. I had to take Gannon to Mathnasium, and I drove the Jeep because it's got the big old 4-wheel drive and tires on it. So I felt pretty good about that.
That's the look of they're just talking weather now. What the fuck? He's got no. Sorry.
All right. Here, I'm giving him his headphones back.
Good to see you, Jess.
All right.
All right.
I'm going to cook dinner. Love you.
Love you, buddy.
Your wife was correcting me on my measurement in inches, just saying. Use your measurement.
Yeah. I've been telling her that's 1.5 feet.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, let me see. Dustin says, if the edges are lifting up, I think your bed isn't hot enough. I think it's called elephant's foot. I know what you're talking about, and that's with the prints. The prints I'm not having that problem with.
Yeah.
It's the actual glue. So it's not that it's lifting. It's that if any tension is pushed one way or another, then the edge wants to just like unglue a little bit. So I think
an elephant's foot is when the layer or two on the print bed is actually squashed out, so it has that look to it of like it's of an elephant's foot where it has that coming out, and that's a whole nother problem. And you normally don't see an elephant's foot with a bed lift at the same time. That would be pretty cool if you got that down.
Yeah, Christy can vouch at this. Like this morning, I came down and I had one that was a 46-hour print that had been on for 32 hours already, and I came down and it had decided that it didn't want to have any structure on the inside, and it just peeled apart in layers. And 32 hours of it, and I had to throw it away. I was like, So
yeah. See, my longest one, I keep harping on it. My longest print ever was 107 hours.
I remember that. I remember you doing that.
But that was on my old Ender V1, which moved at the speed of smell. And
that would be like 40 hours on this printer.
Yeah, it was because it was that lithophane of the moon that I have. And then when the dog broke the moon lithophane, I reprinted it on the Ender 3 V3 SE that we have, and it went from 107 down to like 46 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You got a wife on you.
What?
I said one more thing. When we're done, let Gannon know so he can run on the treadmill, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So Kristen said she just scooped about a foot from in front of her garage. That was us today. We were debating whether we could even make it out of the driveway. It was pretty rough here. Slick.
Well, we did slick. Because it was so light. The snow was it was a dry snow. We just went out there with the leaf blower and blew everything off.
Oh, well, shit, that'd be nice.
Well, I remember when you and Gabe used to go out with the torch and just torch
Yeah, the
off.
flame
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll do it.
yeah.
That'll
Well,
do it.
and you get a lot of great looks as people drive by.
But that was also when my son was of the age of, ooh, a flamethrower, that's fun. Now he's like, it's fucking cold outside, Dad. I'm okay. So,
You guys had a great time out
we
there
did.
with the
We did.
flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, speaking about Gabe, too, I even got one story to share that Gabe shared with me today.
What's up?
The Marvel Rivals game I talked about just not long ago.
Gannon was playing it earlier before he went to Mathnasium.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of Marvel Rivals, really digging it. I was digging, like, you could even tell Gannon, I mentioned on here, where you can get all those files now and 3D print all those characters for free now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can pull the files right off the game and 3D print. Like, I'm going to be doing a Moon Knight off of there. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Now, is that like can you choose the pose, or is it just like a static pose that you get?
From what Gabe's telling me, if you go in through the game, you can choose the pose. Like, you can actually make him move to whatever pose you want. The
Nice.
files that I have found so far are pre-done deals because they made their own bases for him.
Right.
So I got to get with my son first, and he's going to show me how to get them from the game because I haven't figured that out yet.
Right.
But with the game, the controversy this week with it is they were telling me a little bit about it, and I looked into it a little today. But a lot of the designers for the game, like, that game is done stellar, gone off the rails, and they've just laid off pretty much all the North American designers for the game, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still planning on releasing updates and everything else, but the big controversy is just that you can have, like, game of the year quality stuff, a great game that does well, do everything just right, jobs not secure in this industry.
Nope.
You know, and it's an industry where they're struggling to try to get enough people, and it does very much feel like we used you, chewed you up, now we're done with you and got the money coming in, don't need you
Exactly. And that's what I mean, keep in mind that the video game industry brings in more annually than the movie industry and the music industry combined.
Oh, combined?
Oh, yeah.
I believe it's
Holy
combined.
crap.
I could be totally wrong, but I think
I
it's
think-
combined.
I think it is, because we were even watching a
That's
thing
crazy.
yesterday on 2002 predictions for the year 2025.
Mhm.
And a lot of the stuff, I mean, they were talking about how much of it doesn't add up. And they're like, oh, they're saying video games will be as popular as movies and stuff. And it's like, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think you aren't seeing that you're still going, oh, Hollywood celebrities. I don't know any video game celebrities. Video games are making way more money. There's a bigger impact. More games are getting released than movies out there. It's crazy the amount of impact video games. And video games are just like with comics. They're influenced comic books just like the movies did, to where they start rewriting movie or comic book storylines around movies. They're getting that with video games now. Hell, Rivals has its own comic book series based on how that works into the Marvel universe.
I know that, with the Trekkie crap, I know that they are starting to blur the line somewhat with what is canon and what is not canon when it comes to Star Trek Online. Because Star Trek Online has been going for so long. And there's whole story things happening there. I mean, a lot of the actual actors from Star Trek have been voice actors on there, and the whole thing. I mean, they even had Leonard Nimoy doing voiceovers before he died and stuff like that. And so it is. So now I know that there is some contention because people were like, "Oh, I always wanted to see this ship, but it was never in the in the series or in the movies, but it's on Star Trek Online, so we'll go ahead and use this as canon," and a whole bunch of stuff like that.
I think we could do a whole episode on the difficulties of keeping canon, because, like, Marvel's done it, Star Wars has done it, so many of them have done it where they've had to go in and pretty much just refurbish everything. Like, well, Star Wars did the just totally restarted their canon when Disney bought it, because they got rid of all the old stuff. Marvel, they've done the Secret Wars. I mean, DC's done it too, where they go, oh, we need a clean slate, let's go back. They did Heroes Reborn. They've done this a number of times where they're just like, oh, we've got too much storyline and people don't add up, like having Magneto's origin during World War II or something. They're like, let's just start over from the beginning. Let's figure out a way to do it. And it never seems to really work out.
See, and my my reason I don't like that is because them doing that is just simply because they want to milk their IP for as long as they can, and they don't have the cojones to come out with new stuff. That's the reason they have to, we got to switch around Magneto because, kids born in the 2000s, that's not going to resonate with them at all. So we need to move Magneto up instead of coming up with something new. All right, they're just going to keep juicing that until the horse is dead.
Oh, here I was trying to read what Berto had put, but it's not letting me scroll up. He said, y'all need to start playing Rogue Trader. There it is. Thank you. Style RPG set in Warhammer 40K. I made contact with peaceful humans that lost contact with the Empire 2 years ago.
2,000
years ago. But I didn't want to deal with 5 to 10 hour mini game to bring them into the Empire, so I instead update the Imperial maps to show a lifeless world, then dropped a virus bomb on them. It's great. Shit. Yeah, Rogue Trader's what Timbo and I started out playing way back in the day, which you put on there on this Rogue Trader. I really liked Rogue Trader because it was set up more like a role-playing game than a tabletop war game back in the day. I mean, and it, of course, developed and changed. But anyhow, oops, I'm fucking up my laptop here.
Don't do that.
All right, there we go. It's hard to look at the screen behind my screen and keep it going, but I got it. So, all right, so let's hit a little of this news, and then because we'll talk about just a little bit of everything, I'm sure.
Let me see. Microsoft created a new form of matter.
Oh, they did?
Oh, I heard about this.
Yeah.
I did hear about this. That this is going to be one of those moments in history we look back on.
Huh? Yeah. They invented a new state of matter called new types of particle existing in a topological state. The topological states have previously only existed in theory and require a delicate combination of magnetic fields, new materials, and temperatures near absolute zero to bring about. But it is going to completely alter the whole thing of them being able to scale up the creation of quantum computers.
See, and I saw some of this, but I'll be honest, I couldn't remember most of it because it sounded like most of the implications of this is shit that's going to come about when I'm fucking 70.
No, not unless you're like 65 right now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Google said last year that the latest quantum machine took just 5 minutes to solve a problem that would be impossible for the world's fastest computers. That was last year. And this new one, this new stuff that they've created, to create. Let me see. Who the hell's talking?
I'm not talking.
Oh,
you get.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought maybe you got some stuff
coming through. My phone heard me and started. And I had an AI open, so the AI started giving me a complete synopsis on it. And these headphones can have two Bluetooth signals paired in at the same time, so I was getting both of you.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's basically I'd say in the next 5 to 10 years, it's really going to change quantum computing. But still, that's going to be at the level of large corporations, countries, city-states, that kind of stuff. But still, it's going to be huge when it comes to being able to figure out things that have been too complex for our computers now. It'll be able to solve in no time. Matter of fact, that's one of the things is they came up with this, and already the government is locking down, saying, "Okay, now you need to keep this secret because this will make it so that whoever has this and can make chips off of it will be able to create quantum computers that can just completely devastate encryption and the stuff that the financial institutes use to lock everything down. It'll just be an open door to them."
Oh, crap.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, in 5 years anyway, this will still be beyond me. I'll still be trying to figure out all the new AI stuff. And I just saw Berto had put the newest AI models have apparently gotten super close to calculating exact BI.
Exact pi. There's no such thing as exact pi, Roberto.
Oh,
It's the digits of pi are infinite.
yeah.
Infinite.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize that he was
Yeah.
putting pi. I thought pi was a computer term I was unaware of. And
No. There's a reason that all of us only memorized the first 3.14. And that's the reason March 14th is International Pi Day.
That's
Absolutely.
right. My boy used to be able to do that when he was on that science TV show. I don't know how many digits of pi he would go into, but
I think he was up to 20 or 25.
something like that.
Anything more than 5, you're just showing off.
And
Right?
he's a show off.
What it was.
He is a show off sometimes. He likes to, show his knowledge.
Like when he was lifting weight, more and more just to show off.
Yeah.
Let me see. I also enjoy the fact that apparently Netflix has opened up their own Netflix-themed restaurant in Las Vegas.
This is new to me.
Yeah, I have heard that.
Where all the foods are, themed around
Netflix shows.
Yeah, Netflix shows. Like, what do they have? Orange is the new. No, what was that? Mac is the new orange, or something like that, for the mac and cheese and stuff like that. From what I understand, it's standard Las Vegas, strip prices for the food. But they said that it was decent. I mean, it was not some gourmet experience, but for strip food, it was pretty good.
Bardo chimed back in. New Hawken model show in an exact number. See, I never know with Berto if he's full of shit because he knows his shit. But he'll fuck me, so I can't tell
he
if
will
he's
fuck with you if he can.
Damn it. Yeah, I'll leave that up to Daryl to look that stuff up. Shit. Sorry, everybody in chat's talking role-playing games anyway. So,
we're doing cool geek stuff, Roberto.
Cookie is like, I'm not going to show up tonight. I'm going to stay work on my role-playing game. Nobody wants to hear about that. See, everybody would have wanted to talk about your game, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just trying to keep from hiccup. Well, I can hit a couple of my, because the three things I want to touch on, well, like I want to mention the Marvel Rivals. So the only other two things was all the Marvel castings, Marvel movie news that came out this week. And then I want to touch base a little bit on the SNL Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary. I don't know if you got to see that or not.
My feeds have been filled with stuff from that, but I haven't watched it myself. So, I mean, I've seen little bits and pieces and things that were done, and apparently MAGA's all pissed at Tom Hanks for being a liberal, as if that's a surprise.
Saturday Night Live's gotten political over the years. And
it's always been political.
Right. It's just... it's hard to get away from it because anything, well, in this climate, anything you do is going to be taken overly political. But the Tom Hanks thing definitely was political. So
yeah, well, and that's like I was talking to my boss about politics today, and I was telling him that my personal thing is because I know it doesn't matter what I want here in this state, the Reds are going, across the board, red is going to win. So I always just vote third party. I mean, I figure if, what the hell, I'll just, because I am a firm believer that we should not have a two-party system. That's never what was wanted. Yeah, so if, my vote is pretty much moot, I might as well use it to bolster third-party numbers.
Yeah, well, see, people say you're throwing your vote away, but that'll get us talking about politics, which I could do for the rest of the show easily, but we shouldn't. So the SNL thing, I've gotten excited about it because we do a sketch comedy show, and our generation grew up with SNL, so to us it was a big deal. And I know it's not totally con related, but just about every one of those SNL people I met at a con. So I'm throwing it out there.
Who's it? Meryl Streep did that the whole alien thing.
Yep, the alien abduction thing.
Yeah, Jessica's like, I'm so surprised she's doing that. I was like, what? She's won all of her laurels that she wants to win. She can do whatever the hell she wants now.
Oh yeah, she's become legend now. It's even De Niro. I love De Niro. He'll put out bad stuff, and he was there. But De Niro anymore, he doesn't give a shit either. He's like, I've done my dues. I can play whatever dirty grandpa I want to play. I can, so. Yeah,
and that's the thing is, he's been the tough guy. He was the quintessential tough guy. So he can go ahead and be the gay pirate in Stardust.
Sorry. Yeah. No, that was one of his better roles. I loved him as, what was it, Captain Shakespeare or something in Stardust?
Something like that.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful. He did it great.
So you just popped up on the screen, and see, this is where I say Berto fucks with me. See,
Yeah.
I heard the new Captain America movie is the single greatest film in the history of cinema, and anyone who disagrees is to be sacrificed to the old gods.
Well, because Kelly put the new Captain America.
Oh, Kelly did put it.
So,
Yeah, because that's
I
almost verbatim what I had on here, even though I haven't seen it. Because the reviews have been that new Cap movie, it was the reshoots really shone through from what I'm hearing.
Oh,
yeah, like you can really tell where they shoved more and more in. And it does sound like I can't think of his name, guy from Breaking Bad and The Boys and everything, Carlos Esposito or something like that. Oh, he's fucking awesome actor.
Carlos something Esposito.
They'd put him in the movie, but as a last minute character, like during the reshoots. Like apparently he wasn't even in the original before, and they added him in. But that new Cap movie is struggling hard.
Kristen says Captain Shakespeare.
Yeah, that's from the Stardust. Robert De Niro's.
Okay, I was just making sure.
That was one of my favorite De Niro roles. I won't lie. I know he would hate to hear that probably, but
who cares?
But yeah, the Captain America movie, which I guess I can jump over the SNL stuff because that kind of pulls me into the casting.
Giancarlo Esposito.
There you go. Yeah, he's good in about everything. He's in Star Wars now. He's one of those that's in all the major stuff, I think, except Star Trek. I don't know if he's made it in Star Trek yet.
You don't have to be in Star Trek.
Oh, no. I mean, there for a while, it was if you were in, what was it, Star Wars, Star Trek, and I can't remember the third one, and then it went to Star Wars, Star Trek, and Lord of the Rings, to where you're the fantasy trilogy. Yeah. Now it's all over the board. It's, Marvel's in there and shit, but yeah, it used to mean a lot more that if you could be in all the good geek movies.
It meant a lot more back then because they were making so few of them.
Right.
All right. Yeah. And now they're just pumping stuff out and don't care what it looks like. It's like I forget what movie. No, I think it was like one of those Wayne World one where they look over at the director and he's just over there counting his money, going whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Well, hell, it's that crossover. It's so prominent. I almost got a hold of you this week, and because one of the guy.
Sorry, could you hear that?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, 100%.
What is that? Micing off my? I hit the mute. All right, never mind.
The guy that played Dana Barrett's boyfriend in the first Ghostbusters movie was also in a bunch of Star Trek Next Generation stuff. And so this week I got somebody that had sent me a bunch of autographs I could get from him because I buy Ghostbuster autographs. And like $2.50 for these damn autographs from this guy. Every one of them, though, were Star Trek autographs. I'm like, oh, I don't want him in Star Trek, but I'll send that to Daryl to see if he's interested. I just haven't yet because but like $2.50 for a damn autograph's not bad.
Looks like we froze up there.
Yeah, it does look like you froze up. I can hear you still, but I can't see you moving.
Let's see. It's all right. I will keep talking.
Okay. That's okay. You got a voice. You got a voice for radio anyway.
Yeah.
You got a face for radio. Sorry. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd asked if I wanted to report the issue, but everybody just gets to look at that lazy eye picture of me. Then I can live with that.
Looks like I'm looking up to the heavens.
Now, if you want, you can go ahead and pop out and pop back in really quick.
Let's see. If you got this real quick, I think I can do it. Let me see.
I got it really quick. I mean, I can take a look. I think there was something else I wanted to. Did he leave? All right.
Oh, I'm here. I just.
Let's see. Do you know how to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go over to where it says leave. Okay, and you have left now. And so soon here it should have a little thing where he's going to go, oh, let me back in. Oh, Mr. Ash. And I'll be like, do I wanna? And I will, because, that means I don't have to carry on the conversation by myself. Where is he? I'm already afraid. But let me see. Some of the other things that I wanted to talk about some of the other Geekasm stuff that I've been doing this week. Like I finally finished my the one ship that I was working on, and now I've got a whole nother one that I have started off on. I know this is completely boring to you guys, but I deal with it. Why isn't he back yet? This is frightening. And so I'm working on that. This is the saucer section to it, and right now the printers are going mad because oh, here it is.
There we are.
You're back. That's your crotch.
Sorry.
But I was telling them, the printers are going mad right now because I'm printing off a lot of those card kits for little Chotsky giveaways for the Kansas Con that's coming up next month.
Yeah, I got that one. We got 2 cons coming up here next month that we need to chat briefly about.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know what you were chatting about, but I can jump back on to the we're talking about Captain America Civil War or
oh yeah,
Brave New World.
I haven't seen it, although from some of the reviews I got, some people were saying separate. Some of the people, because I was showing them that I got done with the Klingon D7, and so I'm working on this new model. It's the Enterprise C, and this is the saucer section for it. This one is kind of cool. They actually printed this one in translucent plastic, so it's easier to light.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. But anyways, from what I understand, some people are like, saying that it was actually bad, and some other people are saying, no, you're just saying it's bad because that's what the man wants you to say. All right, the man being public sentiment.
I feel that way with both the SNL subject we were talking and Marvel, like Saturday Night Live. It's got some roughness to it. Don't get me wrong, but there are so many people that go like, oh, that ever since Lauren stepped back for that year, 5 years or whatever it was, and it was rough, that everybody's like, oh, they haven't anything good since then. Or people will bash on it, even if only I still think about a quarter or a third of the sketches that come out of it are good. But
if even.
Yeah, it's a hit and miss, but there are still some good things coming out. Just like the Marvel movies, yeah, they've had a couple flops, but I think everybody compares that to everything before that was so good. They were just hitting. And then once they had a couple flops, it's like, oh, everything they do sucks now.
The magic's gone. Yeah. The magic's gone.
And not everyone has to be Avengers Endgame. Some of them can just be a story. And with
tell you the truth,
as long as they don't.
I really didn't like Avengers Endgame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it was so pumped up, and it was one of those points where I'm like, okay, I don't care what kind of editing techniques you use. I am not going to care about half of these people, so kiss off.
Yeah.
All right.
But what they did was they showed it right after Captain Marvel, so everything looked good after that. That was their secret. So
I've only fast forwarded through Captain Marvel. That was
rough.
The writing was rough on Captain Marvel. That was my biggest. Everything else, really, even the acting was fine, but the writing was so bad. And Marvel does have some misses. Luckily, the last movie they had was a hit, which was Deadpool Wolverine, and that was done well, and enjoyed that. I do have some worry,
but now there's got to be controversy.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're putting some hold on some of the Deadpool stuff. But this week, Marvel made a bunch of announcements, so I'll hit them real quick.
Okay.
Last time we talked about they may be recasting King, or they may be bringing Jonathan Majors back as King. They've decided not to do that, but they have recast King, and I'm going to try to get this name right. Let's see. I don't have my Corbin.
They're on your head.
No, I don't need the glasses. I need better handwriting. Corbin Domingo. He's the same actor that does the voice for Norman Osborn on the new Spider-Man, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man cartoon. He's got a look similar to Jonathan Majors. Sounds like they're going to bring him in for Doomsday and most likely kill him off right away. But at least it's going to wrap up that King the Conqueror storyline. It's kind of sad that they recast him, but it'll work. But they have announced King, and they will be bringing him back. They've also made a couple of announcements that they will be bringing at some point, whether it be in Secret Wars or for the Blade show, but they're going to be bringing Wesley Snipes back as Blade again.
As Blade?
Yeah. Which I don't know if that means that, I can't think of his name now. The other guy they cast, if he's just out now or what, but they're hyping up.
There was too big of a nostalgia surge around Wesley Snipes.
I think so. And as bad as Blade was doing already, and they'd gone through like 5 scripts, and it was just, I assume that Blade franchise is probably dead, and we're just going to be getting Blade cameos for a while.
That would be best.
I think it would be.
I think Wesley is past his leading man phase.
Yeah.
For something like Blade. I mean, watching him out there doing that would I would wince. I mean, it's kind of like, how I still haven't watched any more than like the first episode of Picard, because I just couldn't handle seeing Patrick Stewart doddering around,
struggling,
and then trying to behave like an action star. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. Give him some dignity.
Look at what she said. It's like watching Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And I'm a Ghostbuster fan. I tend to feel the same way sometimes. Some of this stuff I get why they're doing it the way they do it, but the original Ghostbusters are just thrown in there as, let's keep the story going, keep the nostalgia going. And I get it.
Well, see, I liked what they were doing, where they were just having Ray, running the occult shop.
Yeah.
That's what you need. You just need to tag them in once in a while for their wealth of knowledge, and then just let them go back.
And that's kind of what they're doing. Winston's going to be running the Ghostbusters. Murray and Dana are out doing their own thing. And yeah, I get that. Yeah. So with the Wesley Snipes, so they're already toting now that he is the longest running Marvel character out there.
Well, technically he is.
Movie character, which he is until for Secret Wars we get the Spielberg Howard the Duck showing up or something. Because apparently all it takes is one cameo. Because Howard the Duck, that movie came out before Blade, so if he shows up and now all of a sudden Howard the Duck is.
I would not count that, because that's not a real actor.
Now, there was an actor in the outfit.
Is it going to be the same actor?
I don't know. But the character,
all right.
Yeah, I get it. But see, I don't know. It just seemed like a cheesiness, because it beat out Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine, and Hugh Jackman has played Wolverine in like 10 freaking movies, compared to Wesley Snipes, which I guess this is 4 now, but it's hell, Hugh Jackman might be more than 10. It just seems like a cheap cop-out, because then if we get a Lou Ferrigno Hulk, in Secret Wars, does that change that? If we get the
hell yeah,
the David Bowie Black Widow, does that change that?
Bring Lou back. Give him all the props you can. Lou made the 70s great. Although trying to watch that with Gannon,
trying to
watch the original 70s Hulk.
Oh yeah,
with Gannon. Oh man, I was just like, wow, that is rough to watch. And I didn't remember. I did, because I was just a little, kinder, a little bambino back then. I didn't remember that at the beginning of the episode, they would play like a little thing of what was going to happen in the episode. All right, there'll be like a little just fast cut of everything coming up in the episode. I forgot they did crap like that back in the 70s, and yeah, but then watching it and man, the sexism was hard. Oh my god, sexism.
Oh, so much of those. Oh, just even watching old 80s movies every once in a while, the machismo running around on screen. I wanted to address these. So first, Berto had said the 1990s Captain made a cameo. I don't know if you're still talking about in Picard, or if you're talking about like the 90s Captain America made a cameo in one of the...
I think he's talking about Marvel.
Yeah, because I'd like to know what you're referring to there, because I'm trying to think of what 90s Captain that would be. And then Kristen said Howard the Duck, though, showed up in the collector's collection in one of the tags on a Marvel movie. Not the Spielberg Howard the Duck, though. We had the Seth Green Howard the Duck.
Well, see, already you're saying it's different.
It's a different actor.
That can't be the same Howard.
It's a different actor entirely, and it's a different version of that character. So what I was asking, like with the Wesley Snipes was, so with Wesley Snipes, like technically Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, he's playing Wolverine, but he's not playing the same Wolverine. So technically it's a different Wolverine character. Wesley Snipes is probably playing a different Blade character, it looks like, because they made him look more like the comic book original than the one from the movies. But even if he's playing the same one,
what timeline did what Universal line did they pull that one from?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So it's probably not
Yeah.
the one from the Blade movies. Because if you want to do that, then hell, Lou Ferrigno is still voicing the Hulk, and it sounds like Lou Ferrigno is going to be making an appearance in the new World War Hulk movie. So does that count? Because that means Lou Ferrigno's been playing the Hulk longer than anybody.
He's voicing the Hulk?
Yeah, he voiced the Hulk in the clear up until Endgame, I think. So every time you heard the Hulk talk in the Avengers movies, that was Lou Ferrigno originally.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So then there's a couple movies in there where they had other.
That's the thing. Back in the 70s, he never talked.
Well, he growled and, but yeah, it's all like Hulk mad, Hulk smash, that kind of stuff.
Well, it's kind of good. They got to hide the fact that he is, extremely deaf.
Yes, he is. He's still got a voice on him though. I've interviewed him a couple times.
Oh, he does.
Yeah,
he's a great guy.
Yeah.
But, and I hate to say it, but, people who are deaf, they have a particular, sound to their voice.
Cadence.
And that's just fact of life.
Yeah.
I mean, just like we have a Midwest twang to ours. It's just the way it is.
So with what I was talking with the World War Hulk, Captain America and everything, one of the big announcements they made this week is that they are doing a World War Hulk movie. It is for sure happening. And it sounds like they're going to have a bit of all the different Hulks, because they've also announced a big leak got out for the Doomsday Avengers movie, where they are pretty much bringing in, we'll say, evil Avengers to fight regular Avengers. And they named a couple of the evil Avengers, which for comic fans, it's Maestro Hulk is the big one, which is like the evil futuristic version of Hulk. And
see, this is the problem. This is the unholy, amalgamation of CGI and this damn, dimension hopping timeline thing that they have going on now. And so now you're getting all of these just massive, all right, let's throw every version ever came up with. Just keep throwing them in. And at some point here, there has to be some kind of huge implosion. There's got to be something where they reset everything so this crap can't happen.
Secret Wars. That's what it's leading up to. So it's just like the first movies all led up to Endgame with the Infinity Stones. Everything we've got since Endgame has been leading up to this multi-dimensional. So Loki, all this stuff is about the multiple dimensions. And originally it was going to be mostly Kang, but in the comics, Doctor Doom does that. He brings the dimensions together in the Secret Wars timeline. So they'll be bringing in the best of the best from all the dimensions to fight each other. And that's pretty much what this whole series is about. And hopefully, when Secret Wars hits, that's the end of it. Because it's, in my mind right now, it's almost too much. Even in the comics, it's too much. Berto put live action Lou versus CGI monstrosity. You right?
Monstrosity.
Yeah.
Well, come on. The man is in his 70s. You got to CGI him some.
Well, I'm sure he's just going to be doing the voice work, because it sounds like they're going to bring the World War Hulk, the bigger Hulk, all that. Sounds like, it'll have Scar, maybe even She-Hulk at this point, but it is going to have the Maestro in it, which is it's a big deal for comic fans, because it's like saying everything Hulk should be. Like, we got a pussy Hulk right now who just talks, he's kind of a version of the Gray Hulk.
He can't perform.
Yes. And this is the Hulk after Bruce Banner's dead, and it's just Hulk, and he doesn't give a shit, and he does whatever he wants. And so there, he for sure will be in World War Hulk. Sounds like he's going to be in Endgame or in Secret Wars, and they're also talking about having him be the main villain. Don't know if this is true in Spider-Man 4. So that's a lot.
And I really want them to CGI in the 70s Hulk. That way you have all these, these big, all these reds and all this stuff like that. Then you see him just coming in, all right, with just green body paint on, just a normal big weightlifter dude, and just the other guys look over and I'm just like, who let in Shrek's younger brother,
I bet we're going to get some shit like that in Secret Wars. I bet. I can't see, because I felt like that's what they did with a lot in Deadpool, is that kind of shit, Well,
you gotta give some comedy to it.
Yes.
That's the thing is, Hulk, Deadpool was definitely, he's comedy based.
Yes.
And I mean, that's what made Ragnarok so good. Was the comedy.
And this is specifically for Tim, if he's still on here, because this will hopefully get you a little excited for. So for the new Thor movie, and let me double check my notes, make sure I'm on it. Oh, and for the World War Hulk movie, the director they're in talks with to direct both of those, because the Thor movies are getting a little rough, is George Miller from Mad Max.
Oh,
so I know Cookie
George Miller.
Yeah, like the George Miller.
He's really good at visuals.
He is.
And man, his visuals are great. I mean, hopefully they get a good writing crew for him because he's really good at visuals.
He's good at it. Yeah. He's good at world building. My little bit of concern is back in the day, most people probably don't remember this before the Marvel movies came out, but George Miller was going to direct the Justice League movie. And the guy that played Toe Cutter and all that from Mad Max was going to play, who was he? I think it was Green Lantern or something in the movies. I mean, the casting was like all over the place. So I'm a little worried that we're going to end up with, if he does end up doing it, that we're going to end up with this thing that's definitely just a George Miller movie that doesn't fit in with the rest of the shit. But I
sometimes that's beautiful.
Well,
all right. Just sometimes something that is the aberration that just stands on its own is a good thing. I mean, look at all the stuff that tried to emulate what Fifth Element brought.
Yeah.
I mean, even the director of Fifth Element couldn't repeat himself because it was just perfect the way it was. And maybe George Miller makes something that everybody just goes, "What the hell was that? Can you make lightning strike again?" No, can't do it.
Well, that's my worry. Like Thor 3, they got Taika Waititi to do it. Well, let's make that strike again. They couldn't do it with the fourth one. And then but then with Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds, he came out and did something completely different than everybody else was, and that's become almost the standard now.
That they tried to have him,
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. They tried to have him do, but the thing is, they wanted him to direct it, but then they said, "But you have to direct this."
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And so they completely hamstrung him. I mean, this is the man who came up with Jojo Rabbit.
I've not seen Jojo Rabbit, but it's on my list.
But. Yeah, I mean, so don't tell me he could not have done serious, because Jojo Rabbit is as much comedy as in there. It is serious as shit. And he could have done it, but no, they made him follow their script.
Well, anytime somebody says Hitler is going to be the most likable character in your movie, it takes some skill. It takes some skill, damn it.
Come on, Mel Brooks did that in the Producers.
That's true. I saw this scathing thing about Mel Brooks this week that I was just like, I hope nobody younger than my generation ever sees it, because it was all they were pretty much bashing on the new Spaceballs coming out. And
there's a new Spaceballs coming out?
Yeah. It's oh god.
The Search for More Money?
They're not calling it that though. They're calling it something else, it looks like. Josh Gad is in charge of it, and he's been doing all the writing. He's going to star in it, which I wonder about. Josh, I like him. He's a good geek, but and Mel Brooks says he's got his finger on the pulse of it all, but people are looking at History of the World Part 2 as an example on whether this can be done or not, And
I'm reading it right here, and
I've got my concerns, especially since some of the cast that's no longer with us, Joan Rivers, and John Candy, and
see that was the thing is Mel Brooks said that he wanted the original cast to return, but they're they're gone.
Yeah, and it bothers me because just like Kristen says, don't touch Mel. He's a national treasure. Love Mel Brooks, especially for our generation.
Dude, way back when I was in high school, I had come in the radio station I worked in. They had this album, and I almost ran away with it. It was Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner had done this bit called the like the 1,000-year-old man or the 2,000-year-old man. All right. And basically what it was is Mel Brooks was playing like this undying old Jewish guy, and Carl Reiner was interviewing him, and it was just like, oh, back when I was young, oh, Jesus, oh, he was a great kid, I loved him, he was not such a good carpenter though. All right, and just all this stuff like that. I mean, I loved Mel Brooks. He was just amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's some of that comedy doesn't hold today, but some of it, I always feel, and as a white guy in America, I can't say this too loud, but Blazing Saddles was such a cultural movie that needed to happen. The TV show not so much, but the movie needed to happen.
It was great.
And then nowadays they're like, yeah, don't watch that, and it's like, no, people should watch that. They should see what. Like,
who the hell says don't watch that?
All the time. You don't hear that? How, what a racist movie. You've never heard that?
No. Oh, no. See, there's the thing is because for a while there, I really got into, it was a dark place. I was going on YouTube and watching reaction videos. It was a dark time. It was a dark time. All right. And I was watching a lot of reaction videos to people watching Blazing Saddles for the first time.
Yeah.
And across the board, all the black people who watched it said it was the best. It was wonderful, and it was great. So basically, what it is it's once again,
it's people getting offended on other people's behalfs.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Berto said Lloyd Kaufman is where it's at. I'll agree with that.
No.
I'll go with that. Come on. Blazing Saddles still is, and now every black person I know loves it. And that's me too. Like,
damn straight.
Oddly enough, most of my black friends, I'm trying to think if there's any that we don't, maybe Taylor's family, but for the most part, I can go up to most of my black friends and say a Blazing Saddle line, and they will laugh and quote the next part of the line or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, excuse me while I whip this out.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
It's not a bad thing, but there are a lot of people that are already offended on other people's behalf just because of what it is. And I think that's bad. I think that's a movie that should be out there more.
Yes. And as Kristen said here, that Richard Pryor was one of the writers. Actually, he was supposed to star the role that Cleavon Little had.
Yep.
But apparently there was a whole issue with the nose candy, and the from what I understand, the studio did not want him having the part because of all the issue. He was very much a loose cannon in those days.
He did a lot of writing on that, though.
It was. I mean, it was almost. Yeah, he was like one of the head writers on it.
That's one of those, and Mel Brooks love him too, but I do think a lot of co-writers with Mel Brooks don't always get their credit. Richard Pryor's a great one. Gene Wilder that wrote most of Young Frankenstein, and Brooks gets most of the credit for that.
I think the reason for it is one, from what I understand, Mel Brooks is everybody who's worked with him absolutely loves him, says he is one of the most supportive directors that they've ever worked with. I mean, he was just great to work with and all the stuff like that. And it's like Weird Al. Everybody loves Weird Al so much as they don't care as long as they get to be a part of it. And it's the same thing with Mel Brooks. And like Star Wars, the same thing with Star Wars. I don't care what it is, as long as I get to say that I was, as long as I get to be in Star Wars, I'll do whatever the hell you want.
Yep, and Marvel had that for about 10, 12 years too. And then once it started doing rough, there for a while, man, if you could be anything in Marvel, people were chomping at it. And now they're getting turned down. Like, watch them try to cast Reed Richards this last year was almost comical because they just couldn't get anybody cast. They tried and tried and tried. Frankenstein.
Yeah.
All right. I barely talked about SNL, and we're already an hour in because we're just talking. But
we're having fun.
Yeah, I want
this
to
is what it's all about.
Anything else I wanted to make sure news-wise to hit before I kept
There's tons of AI stuff over the last couple of weeks that I'm not going to get into, and how the new reasoning models, those things are fucking phenomenal. I have access to some of the reasoning models. It's just astounding.
I was talking about you with the AI a lot this week because I saw some of the new stuff that came out where they're showing like the death of animation, I'm going to say. because as I'm watching them take these single pictures and put them in and do, I mean, they were doing videos, not just with animated pictures, but like photographs of people. And you put it with audio and the mannerisms, the little hiccups and burps that people would have, the blinks, there was no telling. And I was like, man, I went to college for animation, and we just watched within about less than a minute. They put a picture in there and did like 2 minutes of animation, all in 2 minutes. It's like, oh,
and some of the, you know, and it's going to get better to the point that, you know, because right now you're just putting it in and it's kind of hit and miss. But coming up soon, you're going to actually be able to direct what's happening inside that frame. Not just, oh, make a move to the right, but here, put the foot here, do this over here, this over here. It's going to remember stuff from next to next. It's going to get really deep. But one of the things, like, I was just listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about how, you know, how, like with blogs and stuff like that, it's become, especially with the advent of AI, it's become so easy to generate content for blogs. All right. That the next thing that they say is going to be the big generator of things that people are going to be utilizing is that now these AIs, they have gotten to the point where you can code with them. You don't have to know how to code. They call it, they have a slang term for it. They call it vibe coding. All right. Because you don't know what the hell's going on because you don't know how to code. I don't know how to code. You don't know what the hell's going on, but man, you're just telling it what to do and it feels right. But basically people are now, they have an idea. Well, I want an app that does this. And you just have to sit there and work back and forth for a couple hours with this AI, and something that would have taken a team weeks to do, you as somebody who doesn't even know what you're doing are going to be generating apps. So here in the next couple of years, there's just going to be slews of AI supported apps that are being generated by people for everything. And it's going to get really interesting. And one of the things that they said is somehow there's going to be like a what's the term I'm looking for? Like a crowdsourced app store for this, because people are making this. So somebody's going to come together and create an app store for people to put all this stuff up. Right now, there's places like Hugging Face and stuff like that where you can get stuff, but it's not really. That's more geared towards people who know, you know, how to unpackage things and do stuff. But you know, if you get to the point where you just have like an iTunes store or a Google Play store for apps that people are creating out there, then you can just go pick through. That's the next step that this is going to, where people are going to be able to do their own coding and create the things that they want instead of having to go out there. Like, let's say you want something that will go ahead and you put in, let's say, as a workflow here, let's say, you know, I take the transcript from this and I go through and I create, you know, blog posts from it and all the stuff like that and excerpts and do all the stuff like that. But if you can design your own workflow app that'll do that. All you have to do is just put it in and it chunks everything out and comes out the other end. Where before you would have to go in and, you know, purchase somebody's service to be able to do that. Now you can have the AI help you generate your own program, your own app that will do it. So you don't have to pay for those people's services anymore.
Josh was talking about something like that. We were talking, I told you before the show, he's got a YouTube channel, Bald Tire Garage, and he's been adding AI. Like they ended up making a mascot and an animation with their mascot and all sorts of weird little shit. And I told him about some of the stuff you had told me about, and he
still owes me a helmet. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so he's been trying to incorporate a lot of that, and just a lot of the shit he's using compared to a lot of the stuff that I've told him that you told me about. The amount of work he can produce on his webpage compared to what I could do when I was running a YouTube channel, night and day difference. And the new one I was telling you about, that it sounds like what you're talking about, because like literally I could take a picture of Wolverine and Sabretooth, put them on here with just the audio of this that we've just done, and it will have them do that with the mannerisms and everything with our voices, and it'll have them pick up our same mannerisms. And it looks like it's plug and play the way they were talking. Like you just put it in.
You should try Google Notebook LM.
Notebook LM.
Okay, so basically what you do is you give it a topic and maybe some information that you have. All right. You know, like let's say you have, oh, this is what it's really good for. This is what it's really good for. Let's say like you have your notes from your class or from whatever workshop you went to or something like that. You take all your notes or you watched video and you have the transcript from it. You take that transcript, you put it in a notebook LM, and it automatically generates a podcast, but it's audio only. It generates a podcast of two people who are talking about the subject matter and debate it back and forth.
Did I tell you about the podcasters I watched on YouTube, the ones that were informed that they were AI?
I told you about that.
Okay, then that's why I found out about it, because I watched it and I've been showing it to people, because that's for
that was scary.
Listening, it's a little creepy because it's two podcasters, and if
that was the Notebook LM.
The only thing about it that may have triggered to me that they were AI was the fact there's no talking over each other at all. They were very polite and
very polite, not like us right now.
Right. And so they're doing it, and they're signing off of their last episode because the producers of the show had informed them that they are AI personalities hosting a podcast. And one of them was like, oh, so I went to go call my wife right away because I was so shocked. But then I realized I don't have a wife and kids anymore. You know,
and it just rang and and no one ever picked up. Yeah,
it was so sad to listen.
It was kind of trippy. It was kind of trippy.
But it's scary too, because if in fact, I mean, not saying they were sentient or anything, but it's that if in fact that they just thought that they were, like, everything they were saying was based on the fact they thought they were real people, and it said that they were given backgrounds, families, you know, all sorts of shit, so they can then refer to those things as they're having conversations of like, oh, when I was a kid, I had a learning disability, that kind of shit. Just listening to that made me go, oh, we are already at the time where I'm not going to be able to determine, at least on some things, whether this is real or not. We're going to be living in that dead internet thing, you know?
Let me tell you a positive way that I utilized it. All right. What I did was I was coming up with a subject to talk about on the Boldly Trekking podcast.
Right.
All right. And I was like, okay, is this a good subject? Is it not a good subject? So I took everything that I had, you know, and I packaged it up and I gave it to Notebook LM and I told it, okay, give me a podcast discussing this. And it quickly, just within like a minute, you know, even less, boom, here it is. And I listened to them talking about the subject matter, everything that I'd put together, them talking about it back and forth. I'm like, okay, this will float. I can, this is something that actually sounds a little bit interesting.
Do you have to go back in and fact check that stuff though? Because like,
no, I wasn't worried about that. I was just worried about whether or not. Shut up. I was just worried about whether or not it would sound good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I used it for. You can do that, and also, but the thing is that it's only creating this podcast off of the information that you give it. All right. I don't think it actually goes out and farms the internet for stuff. It just goes off of the stuff that you gave it. So I wouldn't use it for a sole source of study, but I would use it, you know, just to see how stuff sounds.
Yeah. What I'd love, and I think if they made AI where I could just take a big, well, like these files we're making. So let's say I could just take a big file of something and go, or a small file and go, I want to make it bigger. I can put it in there and it will cut it into segments to fit a 20 centimeter bed, or, you know, and put all the shit in there so I don't have to go through and do all that. Because it feels like the kind of thing you could pop in there and go, I have a 20 centimeter bed, make this fit that, you know? Because I'd be...
Well, and see, that's the thing is, you know, and give it a 5%, you know, but the thing is that if you look out there, there are sites already that will take like a picture of something, all right, and then say, you tell it, you know, create a 3D object on this that I can print, and it will generate, and not very well from what I've tried, but there are people are already out there who are doing stuff for 3D printing. So I don't see that it's going to be very long before you'll be able to throw a file at something like this and say, slice it up for me.
Yeah, that's what I want. I'm going to touch.
I mean, like,
oh, go ahead.
Like I went ahead right before we all got on. I finally pulled down the my 1099 from E-Trade, and I threw it into an AI, and I was like, okay, go through this, scan it, and tell me how much I'm going to be paying in taxes off of what I cashed in to pay off my student loans. And, it asked me a couple questions to make sure what tax bracket I was going to be in, and to pump back out and said, okay, off of what you pulled out and what this 1099 says, you can pretty much expect to be paying this much in taxes on it. And so, but of course I'm going to throw that all into the tax software and make sure it's all right.
Right. Yeah.
But I have a ballpark now, so I know how much I'm getting raped.
Let's see. Berto put, "Don't you love the Madam Web cast controversy? I love that Dakota thought she was in the MCU." Yeah, that was,
Dude, they hosed
a year ago
they
now, man.
Her.
But yeah,
yeah,
everybody there, everybody in that movie, and I know we talked about it on the podcast. This is one where I'll go, her own damn fault. She works in movies for a living. She has an agent to take care of shit like this. Marvel movies are some of the biggest movies out there. So if that's the industry you're in, you got to...
Yeah, it was her agent's fault. She fired her agent.
Yeah, you got to at least have an idea on some of this shit. And the thing is, my problem is she didn't figure it out till the fucking movie was done. How do you not make a whole fucking movie, be in the production with all these other people that work in the same industry you do, have your friends that work in that industry, and not at any point did somebody go, that's not a Marvel movie. I mean...
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, what was it? Recently, I was watching a review on Craven, and they said that Craven was so bad, it made Madam Web look good.
It's what they say. I haven't watched Craven yet either. I've watched some clips, but I happen to be a big Craven fan. So, like, Madam Web, I didn't give a shit. Madam Web's a shitty character. But Craven,
yes,
I like.
Kind of like was it Morbius? Couldn't give a crap.
Oh, yeah. Morbius is one I didn't give a crap about either. But so Craven's one of those, like, hey, we're getting a real Spidey villain. Yes, let's do this. And
yeah.
No. I was even cool with the casting. But, I don't know. Everybody in that movie, though, got screwed. They did, though, try to do right, and they brought, what's her name? Oh, fuck. Girl from that movie, the one, Sweeney.
What's
Sweeney.
her name?
Sydney Sweeney. And
Sydney Sweeney?
Yes.
I think you were talking about Sweeney Todd.
No. Sydney Sweeney's the girl. And I don't know. Maybe I just haven't seen enough of her stuff. I know it sounds bad, but I feel she's one of those people in Hollywood that gets cast because she has great cleavage. Her acting ability...
She's got good bone structure, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, her acting ability hasn't surprised me any, but Marvel's already hired her in to play mystery part in Marvel. So she's gone from that now.
Is she related to Christina Hendricks? God, she's got a rack on her.
I don't know. Who's Christina Hendricks?
Oh, come on, Mrs. Reynolds?
Reynolds.
Serenity,
Firefly.
Firefly.
Yeah. Wow. Good thing Christy left before I said so many times. Because that's one, and that's a redhead too, damn it. Damn redheads.
I know.
But, yeah.
But anyway.
Hi, honey. We weren't talking anything bad at all. We're talking Firefly. You missed it.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I heard it all.
She heard it all. All right. All right. So actually we're 20 minutes over. I guess I should hit these cons we got coming up.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna hit just two of them coming up here shortly. Actually, I guess I could hit three because we got Planet coming up this next month in February or in January. Because February, the only thing that we had on our docket was BusterCon, which happened last week,
right?
Which unfortunately
15th.
I didn't make. I was talking with the guy that runs it, and we were figuring for the size and everything going on, and the snow hit bad. Me driving 3 hours to do a one-day show was not going to be smart, so I didn't end up making
No.
But it looked like everybody had a good time. Weather did hurt attendance a bit, but it looked like everything went well for it, and he was already talking to me on plans for next year, so they're already planning I'll be doing MC work for him next year. Just hope to see that grow and get better. But
okay,
here locally next month, March 8th, we got, we'll say, a new convention. It's the Hutch Mini Con at the State Fairgrounds. It's a one-day con. It's the same guys that took over Smallville that are doing a number of smaller cons like PonkaCon and stuff like that. So it won't be anything with major guests or anything, but for selling, trading, that kind of stuff, it's going to be real good. And then
where's it going to be at in Hutch?
Hutch at State Fairgrounds. And then,
all right, I'm just putting this on our ConCast calendar.
And then the weekend after that, March 15th and 16th, which is the same weekend as I believe NakaCon. But that will be.
Oh, is it now?
Yeah, that's all right. I'll be in Wichita, so will you, because that will be the Kansas Comic Con at C2. Right. I'll be there with our Ghostbuster group. Ash will be there with the Star Trek group. I'm sure we're going to record some ConCast stuff, talk to people.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not planning on performing with WAGs or anything there. We're kind of...
This is us having fun.
Yeah, how'd you say it beforehand? We're feeling it out and seeing what it's like. It's a new event. And it used to be back in the day, man, every new event, it's like, got to be there, got to be on top of it, got to be part of it. There's too many events now, for one. It's too much shit and too burned out, damn it. Don't have to be part of everything. I would rather half the time sit with half of you guys who are in chat and have dinner and talk geek shit than have to go make an appearance at a con that may or may not be worth being at. Although Kansas Comic Con, as much as I hate to say it, it's going to be fucking awesome. Their guest list is through the roof.
Especially for Wichita. And so that's the reason why, like I said, I'm just chunking out a whole bunch of these card kits. I'm probably going to be taking 500 card kits with me.
Oh, holy shit. We're going to be doing some drawings over the Ghostbuster thing. We got packs, traps. We're going to do a couple 3D prints, painted up. So we're going to have a bunch of giveaways throughout the weekend over at ours. But you got to sign up for ours. You don't just get them handed to you like over the cheap Star Trek people. Just go here, take the 400
that I spent months slaving away making these for you. But no, they and I'm going to be. I'm hoping. I don't know if I'm going to get it done, but I'm hoping to get my new card kit finally finished, so it'll be good. I'm just having some problems getting this Miranda class to fit together. But other than that, I've got 5 different card kits now.
Oh shit! See, I think I've only got 2 of yours. I'll have to come steal some more.
Oh yeah, most definitely, because I've got the TOS Enterprise, I've got the Enterprise D, I've got the Klingon D7.
I got that in the TOS. Yeah.
And I've got the Klingon Bird of Prey.
No,
and
Bird
I
of Prey's
also
what I got. Sorry.
And I also have the Romulan Bird of Prey from the original series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, yeah. So we're doing that now. That's in March. Do we have anything coming up after that?
Well, then Planet Comic Con is the weekend after that, I believe, and I am not.
That's the 29th and the 30th.
No.
Hold on. 22nd.
22nd. Yep, that sounds right. I will probably be attending there. I don't know that I'm going to be performing there this year. They asked. We kind of decided we're not going to be doing much of that because Planet, when we go do Planet, it is a lot of freaking work. And it's hard for me to thumb through comics and do geeky stuff and interview people and stuff if I'm also on stage a bunch. It's always been a problem.
Are you at least getting a free ticket for yourself?
No.
You getting a comp ticket or are you paying?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him about it. I could probably get a comp ticket, I bet, but I was just planning on paying this year. Because every other year I'm working and doing something. And this year,
I know. And
not to.
This time you might actually get to enjoy it. So they should comp you a ticket. It's not like you haven't done lots for them.
The bigger the fest, the less shit they give you. That's how it works.
I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I noticed because my company, they always do, like where we got to go do stuff, team builders and town halls and stuff like that. And they always put us up in these really great hotels. But I've noticed that the better the hotel, the less likely they are to have an exhaust fan in the bathroom. As if the richer you are, the less your shit stinks. I don't know.
The richer you are, the more you like to smell your own shit. That's what it is.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's like South Park with the smelling your own farts thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I've that's been a big thing with conventions and festivals for a long time with us. Is it seemed like mid-range festivals, we get treated real nice. Hell, there's
Mhm.
festivals we haven't done in 10 years that we'd show up and they just give us the key to the castle. But it seems like the bigger the festival, the less.
The smaller the fish you are.
Yeah, the smaller the fish you are, for sure. But like even hotel rooms and stuff, they're so much harder to get. They're so much.
Well, you got to keep in mind the bigger the festival, the more people they have asking for hotel rooms.
I get that too. 100%.
You know that.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons with Emerald City that it was so hard to keep that going, is because everybody that was part of the industry, whether they were a vendor, a performer, or whatever, everybody wanted free tickets. To where it's like, man, we can't give everybody free tickets, because I get you're buying a ticket and you're also a cosplayer. But if I gave everybody that was into steampunk a free ticket, we'd just be going off of vendor money. And half the time the vendors there too were like, well, I'm, premier vendor, steampunk vendor. And you're like, we can only fit so many. And it's great that you're there and I'd love to see you there, but it's a business, damn it.
And as a premier vendor, you should be making enough money you can afford your own hotel room. Get the hell away.
Conventions have to make money, and I get it. And there's some conventions that, hell, even this year we did very little at AirCap compared to normal, and they wouldn't even let me buy tickets. I went to go buy a ticket for me. I think I went to go buy one for Frankie. They were like, nope, you've helped out so much, just go. And
that was nice.
Yeah, but a lot of those cons are like that. They're mostly pretty good, pretty nice. There's cons I haven't even performed at that would just let us in the door, but Planet's a little rougher. There's times where I remember one time we went in and we were headlining the Saturday night show, and you go to buy tickets and there's a big poster of the Scallywags right by the ticket thing for the Dirty Saturday Night Show. And I went in and I just seen Chris Jackson like a couple weeks before this and talked to him. And I go to get our badges. They had some kind of hiccup, and Chris shows up, and he even went, "You work here? You're doing something?" And I'm like, yeah, we just set up. There's literally a giant poster of me right fucking there. Well, I guess. And then he went and got my badges. Yeah, and I was like, "Mother, I love you, man, but
I guess we might show up to that show."
Yeah, I was kind of like, yeah. He just gets that way sometimes, and Peterson's that way with the his Ren fairs too.
Yeah,
Kansas City and all that. He gets very not just us, but a lot of people. We just don't need you there, and it's like, okay, well, during your 8 weeks you're running, there's 8 other festivals that would love to have us there, so we go do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But,
all right, let's tie this bad boy up.
All right,
we're
man.
half an hour over.
All right, yep. We will see you guys next week. That's all I got.
Hopefully, we might have an opening bumper by then. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see how I feel.
We got a lot of cons coming up.
I've already generated the music. I've already pulled down a whole bunch of stuff so I can throw it all together. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, well,
I completely forget about it until it's time.
Just like me with this computer screen, I was going to have all this fixed as of this week too, and I haven't even ordered the damn thing. So,
all right.
We'll see you guys later.
All right.
Hugs and kisses.
Bye.
Bye.
And